Welcome to this Killick Explains video, and this time I want to take on the rather surprising result from an FCA, that's the regulator in the UK, survey. And to cut to the chase, the result of that survey done at the start of 2022 or published at the start of 2022 was that around half of UK adults do not feel at all confident managing their own money. And that's a bit of a worry. So I just want to pull out a few ideas, if you like, and suggestions. So first of all, I thought I'd do a poll just to see what people who follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn think, and I'm hoping that they think a little bit differently, if you like, perhaps might have a bit more confidence, but nonetheless I set the poll question: how do you feel about your own money management? Was, in a nutshell, what I asked. Do you understand money? Do you feel confident managing it? And basically, competent and confident was 43% of the results I received, so that's quite reassuring. Just about okay, Tim, was 45%. So the top two answers there accounted for the bulk of responses. I'm confused was 10%, and I'm actually not very interested, so frankly I don't care, is 2%. So some interesting results there. And that, I guess, kind of mirrors a little bit what the FCA is saying there. So around half of the people I asked, very confident, some, quite a big chunk, less certain, and then we've got sort of confused and not interested. So what can we do to improve our overall confidence? Now, it's a big topic. I'm not going to transform you in the space of a few minutes here, but what practical things could you be doing? And then at the end, I'll give you some places to go looking for extra information. So first of all, 5 or 6 steps coming up. Put together a personal balance sheet. Now, you might need some help with this, but a personal balance sheet is something you carry with you throughout your financial life. It lists your assets, so things like a house, for example, things like cash at the bank, things you own. It deducts amounts you owe to other people, could be a mortgage, could be personal loans, could be a bank overdraft, to get to your net result. Now, companies do this. It's called net assets, to give it its posh term, but essentially what you own minus what you owe equals your net worth. And as an individual, it stands to reason over your lifetime of building wealth, you want to try and build that up. So you want to grow your assets long term, reduce your liabilities, and increase that overall net worth. And it's a great starting point because it gives you a yardstick, gives you something to measure progress against, or hopefully progress anyway. So personal balance sheets are a good place to start. Then budgeting. Now, I've done other videos on budgeting. I'm not going to do the whole shooting match here, if you like. I've got colleagues who've written about budgeting in Confidant, our quarterly magazine, at some length. But in essence, it does make sense, if you've not done it before, to start keeping a track on your income, your expenses, and the difference. All right. Now, your income, depends who you are, may come from employment, self-employment. You may have some sort of private income if you're fortunate enough, dividends, interest. Your expenses, well, all the costs of living, holidays, and so on. And the difference, positive or negative. If positive represents the amount you might be able to save or increase your savings by, if negative, the amount you need to do something about. And doing something about means starting to ask yourself some hard questions, as people were doing in the pandemic, I would guess, about where's my money actually going on a normal day-to-day basis? How come I was able to save so much, as lots of people were, during the pandemic? And the answer is you're probably spending a lot less on some of the things which are lovely to have, but aren't helping you over the long term. So those meals out, those clothes, those streaming channels and so on, maybe there's an opportunity there in some budgets to just reduce those a bit, as well as applying a bit of pressure to the cost of your mortgage, cost of utility bills, especially this year, and so on. So budgeting is really important. It's a massive topic, but if you've never done it before, now's a good time to get started, if you like. Next up, try and get rid of expensive debt. Easier said than done, but try and keep your mortgage costs down. They tend to be relatively low because your property is security for that loan, but that's not really the main culprit here. I'm talking about personal loans, I'm talking about credit card debt, I'm talking about expensive payday loans, if that's something you've used in the past. Try and reduce those as far as possible. All right. Then think about, am I sensibly structured? All right. So it's all about managing your personal finances. Do I have my rainy day fund, my emergency fund. I don't want to be, selling shares at the wrong moment simply because I haven't got organised enough to keep some cash on hand. And if 2022 is looking a little bit scarier than perhaps previous years, cost of living rises and so on, then keep a bit more cash on the sidelines. It won't earn you much, but keep it there nonetheless. Identify those foreseeable calls on capital. That's where you're going to need some money, not today, but you know you're going to need it in, say, 5 years' time, and that could be for all sorts of reasons. And then the rest of your wealth can be left, if that's the right word, earning a sensible post-inflation return, hopefully, in something like the equity market. That's important. I've talked about that in a lot of other places, a lot of other videos, and I'll give you some references at the end, but that's an important part of building your confidence when it comes to managing money. All right, and then learn more about it. The bottom line is there are two things people find quite scary in life, or quite boring, or both. Finance is one of them, let's be honest, and IT is the other. Can't help you with IT, in fact I'm the last person that probably should based on my knowledge. When it comes to finance, we know it's not taught well in school. We know people as adults, all the way through adulthood, can be scared of it. So try and get to grips with it. You might be thinking, well, easy for you to say, Tim, but I have put out daily sound bites in the past for those people who want it really short and sweet, on Twitter and LinkedIn, for example. We've got Killick Explains videos. I'll give you a source for those at the end. We've got my guides. Here are two of them right here. There are actually 6 in total. We've got Confidant, quarterly flagship magazine, for those people who want a bit more context on it, and so on. So try and learn about money if you can, because that'll boost your confidence. The more you know, okay, the more confident you will feel. That's true of any topic in life, if you like. And then get started. Start investing. Doesn't matter how you start. Start with small amounts. Start with an app. You don't have to go and talk to an advisor. If your affairs are a bit more complicated, or you're really thinking, I'm not sure where to start, then do talk to a human, as I call it, talk to an advisor, or do a bit of both. It doesn't really matter where you start, as long as you do start. And people often think, well, there's no point if I'm saving small amounts. There is every point if you're saving even small amounts, because they will grow, given enough time, into larger ones. Now, make sure, therefore, that you take advantage of the resources that we've got to offer. So those include an extensive library of videos on a lot of the topics I've mentioned in much more detail. That's killick.com/learn. The guides, there are 2 sitting next to me. There are 6 in total. So ping us an email, editor@killick.com. And then if you'd like a copy of Confidant, which is a quarterly beast, if you like, edited by me, then again, editor@killick.com, or just pick one up as you stroll past one of our locations or houses.